So we've got some good ideas that we've talked about in investigations and through interpreting pictures and graphs. Well, we're going to move on, and our focus today is to take all of that information, use it and apply it to a picture to see if we can take one image and use all of those ideas and put them into one synthesis statement. Okay? So what we're going to get is, I'm going to give your teams a picture of just something. They're all different pictures. Okay? I'm going to have you start by doing a real brief quick write, just to get some of your ideas out of your head on paper so you have something to talk about. Okay? Then I'm going to have you talk with your group, and we're going to do it 3 times. And then we're going to come up to the carpet, have one major activity. Katie, what do you think's going on in this picture? Let's transition to this picture.
The rocks started to crack and they started to go down. And then when a couple of them started to go down, they all started to just crack and they all came down.
So there was a rock slide?
Yeah.
So what do you think, what caused the rocks to move?
I don't know, it could be from the rain. Maybe they cracked it or something. Or the weather, the snow.
Okay. So Tasia, what do you think about what she just said? The rain, weather, snow maybe cracked the rocks and the rocks fell down.
I agree.
You agree? How can you apply some of the knowledge from one of our investigations to that? Where did we see evidence of that happening? Rocks getting smaller and moving. You can find someone to help you if you can't remember.
When we did the experiment with the rocks in the bottle and we shook it up, as you can tell, that the rocks started to move.
So we have the idea that weather came in, kind of loosened up the rocks with the weathering, with the freezing and thawing of the water. And then as they were tumbling down the mountain, which Jasmine just kind of applied, they kind of crashed together, made the sand, and now you got all this stuff. There's a road right here. Okay? And then there's this big river. So now we have the idea the rocks were here and they're down here. Now what? Now what? Think about that. You can go.
Well, because you can see that there's like little waves right there. And they probably went up onto the road when they got high, and then it pushed against the rocks on the mountain.
So you're saying this water caused these rocks to fall?
Because it went up, and then the rocks started turning to mud, and then they started to fall one by one. And you can see there's dirt and lots of dirt in it.
So he just made the claim that this river made these rocks fall. What do you think?
I think above all of it, I think there's a river, and then it just crashed down and the water came down into the road.
So you think there's another river up here on top of this mountain that you can't see? Okay, and that would cause these rocks to fall? Okay, what do you think?
I have to disagree with Emily and Devin, because I think what happened is that this big chunk right there, I think that's like a big rock, and it was up here on the mountain, and it fell, and then it made all those little ones start to fall, and then there was so now it's starting to all fall, and then it will block when all of these little rocks are gone.
I agree with Aaron if that is a rock. I'm not sure if it is or not.
Okay.
Yeah, me.
But I say that it soon will disappear because of how old it gets.
Okay. Yeah. So rocks get old, they kind of get decrepit and just kind of go away?
Yes.
All right, what causes them to go away?
What causes them to get old?
What causes them to go away?
The oldness. Well, how old they are.
What do you think, Jose?
It depends how old they get, and depends how the weather is.
What do you mean by that?
If it rains, it might take some away into the river, or the wind might blow some away.
Okay, so saying the wind could maybe knock them away. What do you think?
I think what made that is made all of this fall is an earthquake, and all of, like the first little one loosened it, then the big one happened, then all of the rocks and dirt started falling. Then they fell in the water, then it piled up right there.
Okay, so let's summarize real quick. Okay, so we have a couple of claims. We have one. The first one was that dirt and the water got into these rocks and knocked them down. We talked about the experiment of shaking the rocks, and that this stuff that you see on the bottom is, as the rocks were falling from the freezing and thawing of water, they collided and cracked and broke and ended up down here. And the idea, Aaron was mentioning the idea that the water is probably going to take this away. That's the erosion part, and move that somewhere else downstream. That's the deposition part. We also have an alternate explanation that maybe an earthquake could have caused these rocks to break free, and as they were falling, still crash together, create the dirt, same process happens. So we have two possible explanations, and we have evidence to support both. And we have evidence of weathering, erosion, plates moving.